wake up in Pine Grove Furnace State Park campground. I'm feeling very glad that we decided to not walk anywhere after the half-gallon challenge yesterday. I think if I had given myself time, I could have. I've been actually a little shocked at how fast my body processed that and was able to bounce back. I feel totally fine today, and I honestly felt almost entirely back to normal by the time I was going to bed last night, which was not long after eating all that ice cream. So, truly insane. We stayed at the park last night though, which sometimes feels a little silly to pay for a campsite, but I think it's worth it, especially when we have multiples of us in a site. We're paying for the amenities such as dumpsters and a bathhouse, which is really nice. And we had the option to take showers, although we're gonna get showers soon enough and no one carries towels with them. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a good day. The nights have been getting down to about 50 for sleeping, which honestly is so nice. So feeling really good and refreshed this morning. It was kind of strange to wake up and realize that I am closer to Katahdin than I am to Springer Mountain. It's kind of hard for me to fathom in my head because I have never been to New England, so I can't even picture that. But yeah, it's just really cool to wake up and realize that I'm in the second half of this grand adventure. So feeling really good today, feeling really happy and excited to be with my tramily, heading all together and supporting each other. So yeah, looking forward to a good day. It's just good morning from Benton McKay
40 miles short.
And an Appalachian Trail museum that's not open today. Let's do it.
Yeah. And so like you're like working.
What the heck was I
Trying to
saying?
transfer.
Yes. 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 So many sassafras saplings these days. Sassafras have 3 different kinds of leaves. They have some with no lobes, some with a single lobe, and some with 2 lobes that look like dinosaur feet. You can actually make tea out of the young saplings from these. So cool. Pennsylvania bouldering. Woo! Oh my gosh.
Down or up?
I'm going up.
Okay.
Gotta stop the video though. Oh, we just came up a really tough climb to Center Point Knob, which Magpie is calling Center Point Bob. So I guess that's who that is.
Center Point Bob.
It's a camp. Yeah.
We saw you earlier and we're like, is that Moose?
Give us a sachet, darling.
I thought you were like a scarecrow.
Yes. Yes. Good morning. Today we are waking up and walking into Boiling Springs. We stayed at a campsite just outside of town. And we saw in the far out comments, which is the app we've been using, that the campsite we were going to stay at was right next to some train tracks. And that was definitely true. The train came through 5 or 6 times last night, and it was immediately next to camp. And as trains do, they have to blow their horn as they're coming through town to let people know that they're there and all that. And so about 5 or 6 times last night I woke up. So yeah, feeling extra tired today. This morning we're kind of just popping back over to trail. Behind me is one of the many cornfields that we walked through at the end of our day yesterday. The corn is only a couple inches high, but it is well on its way to be knee-high by the 4th of July. Today we are going to stop at a coffee shop in Duncannon and get a cup of joe because, wow, I need it. And then I am going to do the 25-mile hike over to Duncannon today. And we'll see kind of how that goes. Pennsylvania is known for being really rocky, and we keep getting different accounts from different people based off of their perception as to when the intense rocks of Pennsylvania begin. Most people say it starts in the latter half of the state, which we are not quite to yet. But there's just a decent amount of fear-mongering that goes along with that. Everyone has opinions and thoughts on where the difficult rocks are. So I honestly am just at this point trying to tune it all out, and I'm just going to take the hike each day as it comes, and I'll make my own judgments when I get to it. But we'll just see how today goes. On the elevation map, today looks very flat, which is insane. So I think, you know, barring any rocks that I find, there's going to be a good at least 16-mile flat section today. So that should be nice. All right, I'm going to get over to some coffee so I can continue to wake up. So on yesterday's walk, we ran across a couple like big pits in the ground in the middle of the woods, and we looked them up. And as it turns out, this area used to have a lot of iron mining, and those were testing pits for, I'm guessing, the soil. But now that we've gotten to Boiling Springs, there is a lot of information about iron mining in the area. So that's super cool as to what we were seeing. Gotcha.
I think I killed that egg, and I'm really sorry about it. I did not need to.
Welcome to AT Trail Lands. This has been what most of the walking in Pennsylvania looks like. We've got a flat 16-mile section, and it is the easiest walking I have had on the AT so far. The trail recently has definitely made a change, which I got forewarned was going to happen. In the south, there's a lot of backcountry wilderness hiking, and a lot, if not all, of what we have been doing the last week or so has been front country. And while that's fun in the sense that like I could get a cup of coffee this morning before I started hiking, it also means that we're around a lot more people. And in terms of things that could ever make me feel uneasy on the trail, wildlife, I feel totally safe with. People are the sketchy part. And so if you notice, my neck knife is back out, and I am extra glad to be hiking in a group. Unfortunately, yesterday we had kind of a sketchy run-in with a gentleman. Just something to pay attention to as we move north. We're around a lot more towns and easy access. We have multiple road crossings a day, and there's lots of day hikers, and it's just easy access for people who are not hikers to get out on trail. So just something to pay attention to. Like I said, I'm not actively worried, but just something to be aware of, and a shift of all of our mindsets. We've been talking about it as we have kind of moved from backcountry to front country.
So many birds today.
Definitely isn't the wilderness of the South. See all these dark dots on the ground? Every time I see that, I look up. And I keep finding mulberry trees. Lots of them today. Tiniest little mulberries. Nice little trail snacks.
sweet little patch of red clover. It's doing really good. Weather changed on a dime. I think it's just a summer storm passing through, but it's real dark all of a sudden, and it's like 2 o'clock.
I told them that a bunch of us were trying to get to Duncannon today. Let me know if you want any pictures of you.
Crossing the Juniata River. Crossing the Susquehanna River. This is not my favorite kind of backpacking. Yeesh. Hey, howdy. We are finally back to trail. We had a decent stay in Duncannon as far as trail towns go. Not my favorite, but kind of outdoorsy hostel was great. I was happy to be staying inside somewhere with friends, and we did go to the Doyle today for lunch, which was also good. Yeah, it was an okay stay. Got everything I needed out of it, but today I was super antsy to get back to trail. And because we were Neroing out of town, we were doing a lot of things this morning, and so I just kept getting more and more antsy. I think I'm better at Neros when I'm Neroing into town rather than Neroing out, because all I wanted to do today was get back to trail. And from where our hostel was, it was a 2-mile town walk to get back to the woods, and then even in those 2 miles included some major bridge crossings and lots of really loud and intense traffic. So I can even still hear it. I'm just feeling very ready to be back in the woods. And I know I'm back, but I would love to not be able to hear traffic right now. We got the rocks, or the trail, just following these rocks along the ridge here. And we should have a view, but all that haze is smoke from wildfires in Canada. Okay, Pennsylvania, I see you. Good morning. Today we woke up at Peters Mountain Shelter. There's the sign up there. Last night it got down somewhere in the 50s, low 50s, I think. Which in my opinion is absolutely perfect sleeping weather. So I slept so good. All of us just set up here in the shelter. Today we are headed 18 miles to Roush Shelter, I think is how you say it. And we're doing 18 miles, which is about what we're going to be doing for the next little stretch. The rocks of Pennsylvania have begun, and we are decreasing mileage ever so slightly so that we can take our time on those. We've just heard horror stories of people getting injured and things like that on the rocks. So we may want to make sure we take our time, don't get injured, and are careful over these stretches. So that's where we're headed today. Other big news, this morning we saw a porcupine on the way to the privy for the first time, which is really cool. I've never seen one of those in real life. Also yesterday on my way to the shelter, I saw my first Luna moth. In nature, I should say. And that was really cool. It was right on a tree with a blaze. I'll put a picture here. Yeah, other than that, other than some cool wildlife sightings,
It's super smoky right now. We've got all the smoke from the wildfires from Canada. And there's definitely some air quality advisories. We're kind of in a weird position of not being sure how to even change our plans for the better. No one is feeling affected by the smoke. We definitely don't have any views. We can definitely see the smoke. And the ATC has not come out and said anything about suggesting that we do something. So we're all just gonna hike easy basically and try not to really be breathing deeply any of the smoke, but there's only so much we can do. So we are headed north still, just kind of being conscious and careful as we go. But I think any views that we might have gotten today, we will not be getting. But that's the way it goes sometimes.
Unfortunately, like the worst part of the country is like good. We're in it. Like,
We're at Pennsylvania Route 325, and we just got some great trail magic from Twizzler. Thank you so much, Twizzler.
Good morning. Today we woke up at Rausch Gap Shelter, which was a really interesting one. This area has a bunch of historic coal mining, and there's, you know, walls and almost old structures you can kind of see remaining from that. And the water, there's a couple springs that flow out and look red, and my suspicion is that that's iron rich, I don't know, nutrients, substrate, something. So definitely a lot of mining in this area that we're walking through. Kind of cool to see. You can definitely see the remnants of those activities. Today we have an 18-mile day to the 501 shelter, which is similar to the Chestnut Knob shelter in that it's a building with a roof and a door, and like bunks inside. And so we're headed there. Rumor has it you can get pizza ordered there. We'll see. We've all got dinners in case that's not true. But yeah, we'll see how today goes. It is already, to me, I mean, we're entirely in the woods, but yesterday morning at this time, the smoke, you could like see on the trail in front of us. It was making the forest cloudy almost down in it. And today it looks like it's at least marginally better. So that's good. A few members of our family have headaches, and I feel like I'm having to clear my throat more than normal, and I'm suspicious that it's because of the smoke, but yeah, there's only so much we can do. So we're keeping on, just kind of like staying at an easy pace and trying not to, you know, breathe too hard in certain areas. There's apparently a mower coming up ahead, which is confusing me because we're in the woods. Anyway, I think first up this morning is we're supposedly hitting an area that is flooded by beavers. So we'll see how that goes. Gonna try and keep our feet dry first thing this morning, but if they get wet, we got the rest of the day to dry them out. So we'll see what happens. Looking forward to another day. So this right here is an old limestone diversion well. It's believed to be one of the first ones. Basically, the sediment goes into these two tops and it goes down, and the limestone settles, and the rest of the water with the rest of the lighter sediment flows back out into the stream. Super cool. And this, what we're standing on here, I'm pretty sure, is an old railroad bed, which is pretty neat. AT goes right across. The village of Rausch Gap was here for coal mining. That's really cool. That's what our shelter last night was named after. And yep, definitely a railroad bed. Quick correction. The limestone wells were not actually like filtering out the limestone. It was filtering water through limestone from the coal mining operations so that the water was safe for consumption by the native trout. We just crossed that
Do you see a trail? No, me neither. We just had to hop across all those onto this big log. Thank you to all of the beavers doing lots of work. You got it, Tech.
Oh, there's people.
It's almost blue skies. Easies. It's all good.
What? So it's all. Yes, it's beautiful.
That's so cool.
Oh, grab out my tripod. I can set it up on this middle.
Little guy. All curled up.
Little needle.
So cute.
Not anything poisonous.
Well, this is the Rocksylvania we were waiting for, I guess. Joy.
Nope, that's the wrong way.
Hikers, food, cold drinks, and supplies. Yeah, absolutely.
The gate that you just passed up used to be 1,000.
That is nice. I think the reason I'm like itching to get one is because we just haven't had one in a while.
I know. The smoke, I think, is making it a little orangey. We just got Trail Magic for the second time today. We got there just in time, and it is so dark right now, but we are supposed to still have 2 hours of daylight. Rain is starting, and we have like 0.6 miles to the shelter, so we're running. Made it to 501 shelter. Not in time for the rain, but we also have Spam getting cooked like a marshmallow. Good morning from 501 shelter. Saying bye to it. We're walking away right now. It super looks like somewhere that like the beginning of a horror movie would start, but we were safe. It was actually a really nice place to check in from the rain and stay the night. It's one of the few places on the AT where there is a year-round caretaker that lives right next to it. We actually got to meet one of the girls that is a caretaker this morning, and that was really cool. So huge thanks to them for maintaining that space. It was a lovely little spot to spend the night in. So yeah, today we are headed on. We've got one milestone that will be happening quickly this morning, and yeah, just getting kind of close to Port Clinton, which we'll jump into tomorrow. But today we are going to be celebrating Moose's birthday on our hike, so pretty excited about that. Other than that, the forest is definitely damp from yesterday, but that's good because we haven't had rain in so long, and it's super necessary. So actually kind of happy we got all the rain that we got. But yeah, trekking on, and I'll let you know if there's any other updates. It's like walking on Legos.
If anyone wants photos of just the rocks.
1,200. Queen Diva's gonna meet us today for Trail Magic, but we got here too early, so we're late out.
Well, I did
Queen
make sure
Diva
that-
struck again. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
We tried.
We just found actual Bambi. She's here all alone, but her mom has got to be close by.
I hope so. Like put it in a little
Take it
put
with
it in a
us.
pillowcase and keep it as a Joey.
I know.
I hope your mama comes and gets you and not a bear.
Oh gosh. Good morning. Appalachian Trail goes that way. Good morning. We're in Pennsylvania, just coming out of a section. It says state game lands. I'm not sure if it's part of the state forest or not. Actually, we're still going into it, so we're gonna be in it for a while. But we're not really worried about hunters or anything like that. In fact, we've been seeing a lot of deer. Today we were up and out early. It is almost 7 o'clock. We started walking at about 5:30, and we're headed to town.
So today we are headed down to Port Clinton, Pennsylvania, which doesn't have a whole lot, but there is a shuttle from the pavilion downtown to Cabela's in, what's the town?
Hamburg?
Hamburg? Yeah, I think so.
literally have a big noon in my mouth.
Hamburg. And we're gonna stay at least one night, potentially 2 nights in Hamburg because of rain on Monday. So we'll see what adventures come up. Woo! It's like dodging landmines and or walking on Legos, or both.
Little ridges. If you look out on like a
Tiny view.
sat.
Doing pretty good so far this morning. We ran into Stan the man just a little bit ago, who told us where to get the best fries in town. So thank you for that advice. And also told us not to worry too much about the stairs coming up. There's a pretty rocky descent into Port Clinton. Whew, it sounds like, as I trip on rocks. All of Pennsylvania has been, I shouldn't say all, particularly recently it's started to get pretty rocky, and we hear that the worst is yet to come. But there's a lot of fear mongering that comes along with it, and we'd heard a lot of things about the descent to Port Clinton, so it was kind of nice to hear Stan say that it's a little overhyped. I just appreciate the realistic approach to some of the terrain, but we'll see how it goes, because I am maybe 1.5 miles from town, and a good mile of that is just the descent with whatever stairs. So we'll see how it goes. But Pennsylvania rocks have really been taking a toll. I'm working on finding my piece with them. I think with the big ones, the boulders, I've gotten to a place where it's kind of fun. It feels like running on top of the boulders. I mean, I still am careful as to where I place my foot, because you can still slide and they can still move. But it's the little ones that feel like you're just walking on oversized Legos all day that are pretty challenging. So yay, Pennsylvania. Woo! Trail magic.
So what was your favorite part of the trail when you hiked to 98?
Grayson Island.
People were paying
My-
$100 to have that in their yard.
My geology professor legitimately did. Trying to take apart trekking poles is a whole event.
Looks like tug of war.
But they're on the same team. We're about to catch the Cabela's Express here. Cabela's is life.
Thank you.
Watering plants and through hikers.
Yay.
Thank you.